everyone, my name is Brett Peoples, and this is my final project for ED 785. And today we will be discussing a professional development training on Pinterest. So I just wanted to introduce myself, tell you a little bit about me. I am a compliance and accreditation consultant in higher education. I have been in this field for 8 years. I am also a graduate student at LSU. A fun fact about me is I own a personal fitness training business called Hustle Empire. And then today, I'm going to show you engagement in the classroom through the technology tool of Pinterest, which I like to call today's modern Pinboard. So our agenda for today, the objective. Participants will be able to utilize the social platform Pinterest to differentiate lesson plans by using images and videos for visual understanding. Your overall goal is Middleburg High School staff will be able to increase engagement through Pinterest to improve student research skills, critical thinking skills, and creativity. So for your agenda today, we started at 9. We have our little welcome and introduction and objectives. Then we're going to discuss why should we use Pinterest and how the ISTE standards are utilized by integrating Pinterest into our classroom. We're going to have a little fun and do an icebreaker. Then we're going to dive into exactly what is Pinterest around 9:30. We'll take a little break. We'll come back and we'll get into small groups and you'll get to create a lesson and a Pinterest board. You'll discuss those as a group and then we'll wrap it up, have a survey and evaluation, and you will be out of here by lunchtime. So what is Pinterest? Why should we use it? How are schools and teachers using it in education? So why should we use Pinterest? The ISTE standards for educators are your roadmap to helping your students become empowered leaders. These standards will deepen your practice, promote collaboration among your peers, challenge you to rethink traditional approaches, and prepare your students to drive into their own learning. So with our Pinterest tool today, specifically, we're going to be addressing the following standards. Standard 5B, design authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active, deep learning. Standard 6, educators facilitate learning with technology to support student achievement of the ISTE standards for students. And then Standard 7, educators understand and use data to drive their instruction and support students in achieving their learning goals. So we're going to have a little fun. We're going to do an icebreaker. What I'd like you to do is write down your thoughts of what comes to mind when you think of Pinterest. Immediately, what comes to mind? Then you're going to discuss with those at your table what came to mind. Did you have anything in common? Did you automatically question how you use this in your classroom? And then I'm going to give you a little bit of time, and then one volunteer from each table is going to share 1 to 2 highlights with the main group. Now that we're done with our icebreaker, let's talk about what is Pinterest. So ideas on Pinterest are presented through images and videos attached with URL links. Pinterest is an original site where anything the user shares or downloads is in the form of an image. So think of this like a digital pinboard. I know when I was a little kid, I used to cut images out of magazines. I used to stick them on my pinboard. It used to remind me of ideas or goals that I wanted to achieve. Well, think of Pinterest as just a digital version of this, but you can have as many pinboards as you want. It's very organized with whatever board you create, and it's easy. You find a pin you love, You pin it to a specific board of your creation, and it keeps it organized and easy to find. One of the great things about Pinterest is this is going to spark creativity in your students. Your students can make their own boards, but this can also help you in your own classroom for yourself as well. This can be utilized for any subject, and you can give your students feedback on their Pinterest boards. So how does it work? You're going to go to www.pinterest.com. You'll create an account, search for a topic or a pin, click save. When you save, you're going to create a new board, multiple boards. You can delete your pins. You can follow your students. And then your students can also make you as a collaborator, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So this is what the home page would look like if you've never had a Pinterest account before. But I am going to show you what mine looks like. So what we're looking at is this is my Pinterest. I'm already logged in. I have had a Pinterest account for many, many years. So my home page gives me images of what it thinks I like based on boards that I've had. So as you can see, there's recipes on here. There's home creation because I live in a newer house. There's workout tips for fitness. But I'm going to show you how to do this. So we are just going to search, let's say this is a physical education class, proper running form. When I search for proper running form, a wealth of pins come up. Pinterest has billions of pins that it can offer for you. But let's say I want to click on this one first. 9 tips for proper running form. Now, what we need to make sure is we need to click on this image and ensure that it takes us to an article or a video that is related to proper running form. When I click on this, it is going to take me over to a blog, Run for Good. We're going to scroll down, proper running form tips. Let's see. Keep your feet pointed straight ahead, look up ahead. Beautiful. This is a great article. So I'm going to go back to Pinterest, and I want to save this. Now you're going to scroll down to create new board. We're going to say running form assignment. If you'd like, you can add a start and end date. You can also make your board secret. This is not going to allow anyone to see any of your pins. Keep in mind, if you're worried about your students' privacy, none of their information gets shared from Pinterest except for their name. People can search for their names. So I can search for my students' names, they can search for my name, or they can search by email. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click save. I'm going to pin it, and it is now going to save in that board. When I go back, I can click on my logo, and it's going to take me to all my boards. So I had a running form assignment. I'm going to click on that board. All of my pins for that assignment would show up underneath this board. Now it's also going to give me some suggestions for my board as well, which is wonderful. Now I do have the option to edit my board. I can create my own board cover. I can change the name. I can add a description. I can edit the date. And this is where you can also add a collaborator. So if your student would like to add their friend, if they would like to add you specifically to find the board, you can absolutely do that. Now, when I also click on this pin, I can leave a comment. So you as a teacher can leave a comment, you can give feedback, you can ask a question, or you can give a high five that you loved that article. So we're going to come back to our presentation. Now I've given you an example for a lesson. So physical education students create a Pinterest account along with the following. Create a board, title it with a name related back to the assignment, and then save each of the following to your new board and ensure it links to a proper website. Sometimes these images don't give you an article, they won't go to a YouTube link or a video, they might just give you another image. Or because we did proper running form, it could take you to buy a pair of shoes. So you want to make sure your students that it links to a proper website. Then you're going to find one article on Couch to 5K. Your students can then find one article on when to replace proper running shoes, one video on proper running form, and then one article on proper running form. When they're done with that, they can write down their 3 most interesting learnings to discuss with the class. Now it is your turn. You're going to take 30 minutes with your table to create a lesson in a public Pinterest board with at least 1 video link and 2 article links. Now you can choose any subject that you want to. I gave you an example up here, healthy eating living, and then there were 2 recipes below that fell underneath that category. All right, you've just finished your assignment with your table, and I want to quickly just answer some common questions. Pinterest can be used on a laptop, an iPad, or a cell phone. Pinterest does have an app, so students can access it from their cell phone, which we know most of our students are most comfortable with. Students can make accounts that are private, but remember, their names are what are shared publicly, not any of their private information. One thing I love about Pinterest is their searches are controlled, unlike Google. Pinterest ensures that its content is clean and user-friendly. And then remember, adding a collaborator to a board allows the individual to see private boards if your students decide to make those boards private. Now we're going to go table by table, and you're going to have one individual from your table present your lesson. And then we have our evaluation and monitoring. I will be visiting each one of you in the next couple of weeks. I really want to see how you're implementing this into your lesson plans with your students. And I also want you to know that I am of continued support for you. Even if you have troubleshooting questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And then you have your survey link here that you can click on. I'm also going to send this to you. If you would please do me a favor and fill out the survey. Know that you can keep this anonymous. You don't have to put your name at the end. I would just really, truly love your feedback on this, so I really appreciate that. Now, after you fill out that survey, if you'll please make sure that's done before you leave today. Here are a few references of what I utilized to create this presentation. And then, guys, I just want to thank you so much for your time. I hope you have an amazing day. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Come by my classroom or via email. I am more than welcome to help you with anything that you need. Have a great day.